30th of May 2022. Now, if you want me to be like Tom Cruise, wait until the very end, because I do have my very own version of MI, Mission Impossible. A warm welcome to the channel. My name is James, nothing to do with Bond, no superhero, just messing around. And let's have a look at the Three Gorges Dam first of all. The webcam, guess what, is exactly the same. No change there. But now let's have the Mission Impossible musical weather. With any luck, goes like this. So you can see one or two rainy patches there on the weather, so I can guess that the levels will start to increase sometime this week. But the levels at the moment, Kutan is gone up at 165.36. Three Gorges has gone down, as I predicted a couple of days ago, under 150, 149.80, getting closer to that safety level. No inflow for today, but the outflow is 24,800. Yesterday, we talked about D.U.M.B.S, DUMBS, Deep Underground Military Bases. And I did find this article from quite a while ago that China has a huge amount of these DUMBS. In fact, 3,000 miles of them, which is about 4,500 kilometers. According to this CNN report.
Deploying ballistic missiles and nuclear warheads.
They had 3,000 miles of these tunnels. 3,000 miles.
Can you put that in any perspective?
Imagine a tunnel 30 feet by 20 feet high running from Nova Scotia to Tijuana.
Harbour is a former Pentagon strategist who used to look for weaknesses in the old Soviet Union. Based on the size of these tunnels, he says China could have as many as 3,000 nuclear warheads.
The problem with the study and the way that it comes to this estimate is that the students and their professor make the assumption that because China is working on this system of underground tunnels, this must automatically mean that they have they're working on new nuclear weapons.
Policy analyst Lacey Olson and others working on arms control question the Georgetown team's methods. Olson says suggesting that China has 3,000 weapons is a huge jump from the current estimate of a few hundred warheads. It could lead rival Asian nations to start an arms race.
These all lead us to estimates that could potentially impact foreign policy in a very negative way.
But students who saw through 200 hours of video and translated more than 1 million words disagree.
Seeing hundreds of thousands of Chinese men who work to build these things and hearing their stories and seeing how much effort they put into this is another issue. It shows how important this is to the Chinese military.
They may provoke an arms race, even unintentionally.
All right, no matter what you believe on how many nuclear weapons China really has, the team's work did yield some really fascinating revelations, including how China would use disguised passenger trains to move some of their long-range missiles in secret.
This has been growing over the last couple of weeks. Calls for investigation mount over Xinjiang police files. Now, last week, the UN chief, Michel, went to Xinjiang on a closed-loop tour with no journalists. Now, a closed-loop tour, they said, basically was that because of COVID, you can only go to the places which are safe for you to go. So, no re-educational, vocational camp at all. Nothing at all. So, you feel like the UN now is in bed with Xi Jinping, which just defeats the purpose. But there's so much evidence. Now, what happened was that these hackers managed to hack into the police files in Xinjiang. Not leak, hack, break into, steal basically, verified by experts, top experts from around the world, and saying this is real. There are lots of, I won't say lots, at the moment maybe 2 or 3 people saying that this is all fake, it's all debunked, it's all Western propaganda, media, fake stuff. Of course they would. And even the Chinese government went straight on the bandwagon to deny it. But here's a picture basically of one of the camps there, and an article quoting the United Nations chief defends her visit, saying she was able to speak with candor to the Chinese officials. But such quiet backroom conversation is just what Beijing wants. No public reporting, no pressure to end its intense repression of Uyghurs and others, etc., etc., etc. One of them is a guy that I'm going to show you now, a Western shill who lives somewhere in China, goes for tests once every 2 days, saying that everything is difficult, but this is what's needed to be done. He is a CCP shill because he believes 100% in the COVID zero tolerance policy in China. And at the end, you can actually see some of his little porky pies. Have a listen to this.
Hey friends, you know, I want you to know what's going on in China. I'm not saying it's easy, but here we are, stand in that line to get COVID tested every 48 hours here in Shenyang. Most cities are the same. And then you show your green COVID negative test wherever you go. You want to go in the mall, you want to go shopping, you want to buy stuff, you want to go to into some restaurants, whatever you want to do. And you say to me, well, it's restrictive. Yeah, it is. But you know, the difference is we're going on and leading normal lives, but you have 80,000 new cases a day. We have none, 2, 3, 4, 5. You have people in hospitals on ventilators. We have none. You have hundreds, thousands of deaths per day. We have.
China, we always know, underestimates, or can I say, is not transparent with figures, especially when they're negative figures. And we have here, Beijing reports 14 confirmed, 7 asymptomatic local COVID-19 cases. And then the article here, this is from China Daily, one of the state's news media outlets. Beijing reported 14 new confirmed locally transmitted COVID cases on Saturday, and blah, 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 blah. You can read it from there. But when there is a case reported, let's say in a shopping centre, all hell breaks loose. When it does, people are sent home and just stay there until you're being told to do it, while the COVID army goes out and once again disinfects the whole streets on an airborne disease. So what is it like living in Beijing, or you can say some other cities? Now this report is maybe 3 or 4 days old, and this is from Reuters, quoting what it's like and how the people in these cities are living.
Lockdowns hit major centres across the country in March and April. That included Shanghai, the most populous city. Numbers out Monday showed the impact. Retail sales shrank just over 11% on the year in April, the biggest drop since March 2020. Meanwhile, factory production was down almost 3% on a year earlier. That dashed hopes for a rise. A host of other data, from job numbers to property sales and oil refining, also pointed lower. Now, analysts warn that China's slowdown may be hard to shake off. There's little prospect of a big surge in exports like the one that aided recovery from previous lockdowns. Policymakers in Beijing are also limited in their options for more stimulus. Economists say it all leaves the annual growth target of around 5.5% looking harder and harder to achieve.
Okay, I think it's time for a quick break. We'll be back.
Captain Pete Maverick Mitchell. Let me be perfectly blunt. You are not my first choice. You were here.
So yesterday we talked about Top Gun and Maverick and what's happening with that in cinemas now in the United States. Next year it's time for Mission Impossible. And I thought, see if I could do a little bit of Tom Cruise action. So here it is, James as Nathan in Mission Impossible 555.
Too difficult. Whew. Tom, you can keep your job.
That actually brings us to a close on Monday the 30th. Now my subscriptions have actually gone down. It was at 30,455, but it shot down to 30,409 the last time I checked. So please do check the subscription, resubscribe if you need to. Sometimes it happens, don't know the reason why. That like, that subscribe, that share, that super thanks, becoming a member, buying a mug, is all going to benefit everyone in the world. For myself, James, Nathan, and Maverick, it's goodbye for now, or goodbye for now. Bye-bye. Dun 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 dun. Delete!